the future at both the Jets and Giants quarterback position. There was a way too early mock draft, which is, not surprising seeing those come out already, but had the Giants going the quarterback route, I wouldn't imagine that you're too surprised to see that in a way too early mock.
Not surprised at all when you consider the fact that the Giants tried to sell the entire farm for Drake May. They were unsuccessful, but the line of thinking now is Daniel Jones is on a really short leash this upcoming season. Probably won't fare well for him, even if he gets banged up at all. Maybe he gets benched because of that injury clause. His future is just so uncertain. And because the New York Giants roster, if we're being honest about it, is far from competing near the top of the league, you have to assume that we'll be in striking distance for a top quarterback next offseason. And you'd have to imagine that 1 year from now, we're talking about the future of the New York Giants and who's playing under center in 2025. But anything could change. Maybe Daniel Jones surprises me. I highly doubt it. But yeah, I'm assuming QB is going to be the way we go next year.
You're not buying into the year 6 leap, the very common year 6 jump into stardom?
Isn't it, like, as ridiculous as that sounds, there are people who believe that. And isn't that just crazy? Like, I know you coming from a Jets fan, different perspective, outside looking in. I feel like Giants fans only listen to Giants fans, so they don't understand how ridiculous they sound to fans from the outside looking in. But a year 6 leap, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely is a bit much. I don't know how that's still a thing, but I'm with you. Although, what's your take on Carson Beck? Because I have a reason where I think he would be off my draft board, and I wanted to show you why.
Yeah, off the draft board is interesting. I definitely am curious to hear about that. But what I'll say about Carson Beck is I think that this is a player who put up some really good numbers last season, and it was really his first full season as a starter with Georgia. Leads the SEC in passing yards, and I think that if he turns in a really good 2024 campaign, he's probably shooting up the draft boards and finding himself as QB1 and a potential #1 pick. There's no Caleb Williams in this draft class. Nobody who's a year out expected to go #1 and is the bona fide superstar of the class. We don't have that. So now we have to evaluate this 2024 season, who really rises, who plays well. And Carson Beck has a lot to lose and a lot to gain. If he really has another great year, he could solidify himself up at the top. But I'm curious to know why you might take him off the board.
So I am taking him off the draft board because my question to you is, have we ever seen Carson Beck and Sid the Sloth from the Ice Age in the same room at the same time?
Okay, so not to really rip into the... Okay, nice.
I mean, it's uncanny. What are we talking about here, Anthony? This is the same. It's the same guy. Convince me that this isn't the same person.
No, it's rather similar. Striking similarities in their appearance. No, it is funny, though, because I was texting my co-host on Fireside Giants, Alex, about Carson Beck last week. And I was like, yeah, man, he's got a good arm. He ran a pro-style offense, put up a bunch of passing yards. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if he has the looks of a franchise quarterback. I've never seen a franchise quarterback that ugly. So I do wonder if Carson Beck can be a franchise quarterback just based on his appearance.
It's so funny, the things that people look into. Obviously a little tongue in cheek there, but for sure, you also don't want to go the polar opposite end of the spectrum, because then you get like the pretty boy Zach Wilson, who comes into the league and we know how that one ended. So I could talk from the other side of it, or even, I mean, not a first rounder, but Christian Hackenberg looked the part, but not a legitimate quarterback prospect. So who knows? Maybe ugly's good.
Yeah, I mean, looks aren't everything. It's a phrase that we have to live by in life. So looks are definitely not everything with these quarterbacks. I mean, we've definitely seen 6'5" signal callers who played under center step into the league and absolutely stink. There's so many different draft busts throughout history that aren't just, the wrong size, shape, and look. A lot of them look the part and they don't succeed. So Carson Beck on the field, though, does look the part. He plays like an NFL quarterback, in my opinion. I am pretty high on him early on. Obviously, got to see how he plays this upcoming season. But like I said, I think that he's in the driver's seat. He has more to lose than to gain. I think that if he just stays constant and continues to play at this high level, he will be a top 5 pick. If he doesn't play well, he's probably falling pretty far down the boards. But like I said, he's playing in the SEC. It's a pro style offense. He takes snaps under center. He throws well from the pocket, actually plays really well from the pocket, doesn't rely on his legs much, and has a pretty strong arm. There's other things that he needs to clean up. But again, with experience, getting a second season starting under his belt, if this guy throws 40 touchdown passes in the SEC this season, he's the #1 pick. Like, that's almost a lock. So again, whether or not he's a fit for the New York Giants, it's really tough to say these things a year out. But taking a look at these early mock drafts that have the Giants going QB, it makes sense. And Carson Beck is, in my opinion, for Giants fans watching this who might be looking ahead to next season, Beck is the name to watch at the quarterback position.